Oh, oh, oh. सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधिता भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः. Okay. So we are seeing Bhagavad Gita, first chapter, Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Yeah. So what we have seen, that why this particular chapter is called Vishada Yoga is not that we require like Bhakti Yoga or Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga. We are not going to follow this in terms of sorry, in terms of attaching ourselves with the Vishada. Vishada is the sadness. But really speaking, Vishada here represents the very samsara. Itself is called as Vishada. And this is not something you require to do any sadhana to attach yourself with samsara. That is how the ignorance works. And the very fact that we have come into this jagat, taking birth, means we are automatically attached with samsara. And samsara has got its own pitfalls that everyone goes through. One of the major pitfalls comes with your attachment with the outside objects. When I say objects, not only sense objects we are looking at, all the 10, but we are also looking at the attachments with the people whom we develop friendships with, or automatically bond with certain relations. So we end up with having a lot of attachments with the outside world. And any attachment with the samsara as such, anything that is associated with the world, the created world, will only lead to dukkha. That is a given. That is what our Shastras are telling. Sometime or the other, somebody or the other will go away, leaving you, and you have a problem of sorrow that is associated with the breaking of that attachment, which is of not your making. If you are breaking and going, maybe you are happy, but that will leave many other people who are unhappy. So this unhappiness is much more than a little bit happiness you might get by breaking the relationships and attachments. This is the samsara that we live in. And because of that, sorrow, automatically people will go into something called a delusion. Because we have to survive our own sorrow, we have to survive. So we try to delude ourselves and our mind. And at that time, the intellect, which is supposed to pick you up from the mind, which is going into such kind of a sorrow, it will join the mind. And in that circumstances, whatever is bad with the outside attachments will appear to be very, very correct and clear for us. And that's why we sometimes people in delusion, if they are there, any number of people, once they start telling them as to, I don't know why you are not seeing it, what you are doing is wrong, but to that particular person, it appears to be very, very right. So no amount of logic will work with such a person. We'll have to wait for the rant to go through, and then you can maybe start teaching them the correct knowledge so that they come out of the delusion. So we are seeing that this is not only limited to Arjuna. Each one of us go through a similar type of attachments with samsara and go into form of a delusion. And later on, we may wonder, why did I do like that? Yeah, that thought will come to each one of us at some time or the other. We cannot avoid that particular this one as far as the delusion is concerned. So here, Arjuna also, once the war has already started, there is nothing to stop the war anymore. Bhishma has started the war by blowing his conch, and everybody else joined them, including Arjuna and Krishna. For some strange reason, Arjuna, maybe it is there at the back of his mind, that kind of a attachment is there lurking. That's what I was telling last time. This is not limited to only Arjuna. Each one of us, at times, we suddenly go into this type of a cycle of attachment coming out, and then it leaving a sorrow, and that leads us to delusion. Each one of us go through this particular aspect every now and then. So here Arjuna said, you take, he ordered Krishna to take the chariot right into the middle of the battlefield between the two armies, and let me see who is come on the other side, who is ready to fight with the Durbuddehe, the bad people who are there on the other side, like Duryodhana and others. Dhritarashtra, he said, you take me and show me. Krishna wanted to flush out, because if he starts the war with this type of a mindset, Arjuna can never win the war despite Krishna's presence. So unless Krishna himself takes out the weapons, that is not possible, because he already promised that he will not do. So he said, okay, let me now flush this out and give the knowledge to Arjuna if he asks for that. Because he has been training, the Arjuna right from the childhood. It's not that he didn't know him. He knew him very well. And he said, let me train this guy. Let me flush out this bad thing I'm seeing happening to Arjuna's mind. So he took the Ratham, the chariot, and he stopped, as I said, right in front of Bhishma and Drona, the two people whom Arjuna respects, because they have been their guru, both of them. In fact, Bhishma also is kind of a guru to Arjuna. And apart from that, he is also the great grandfather whom all the Kauravas and Pandavas, they love him very much, because it is under his bravery that entire kingdom was held by even Dhritarashtra, who was only a regent. He is not real king, a regent, but it is Bhishma who actually made none of the other kings attack their kingdom. And that is how he has been seeing Bhishma. So he went and stopped the chariot right in front of them. The moment Arjuna saw these two warriors, who are the great grandfather as well as the guru who has taught him the entire vidya, Dhanurvidya, that is the how to put the arrow, bow, etc. So he is the one who the how a war should be fought is taught by Dronacharya. So we have seen that once he sees them, the attachment which was there, which Krishna was suspecting possibly, came out, and he started going into a not delusion at this stage, but he saw, seeing them in front, his mind was going into a sadness, which actually kind of brings the physical aspects into his body. So he said, I cannot see properly, my whole body is shaking, my gatrani, the throat is drying up, and he cannot even stand. And that is how the situation was in terms of Arjuna's this one. Last time we have seen verse 32, wherein we said, Nakankshe Vijayam Krishna, Nacha Rajyam Sukhanicha, Kim no Rajyena Govinda, Kim Bhogay Jivitenava. So here he said that Nahatva, Cha Hatva Swajanam. Moreover, killing my own people. I mentioned this Swajanam word he will use many times in the first chapter and possibly in the initial verses of second chapter, because this is the attachment that Arjuna is being overcome. His mind is getting overcome with. Killing my own people, Swajanam, Ahave, in this war, Anupashyami, I do not see any Shreya. Shreya, good. I don't see any good in killing my own people in this war. He said, "Oh Krishna, Kankshe, I desire na vijayam, neither victory, nacha rajyam." Okay, if you don't get victory, you will not get the kingdom. He says, nacha rajyam. I don't require the kingdom also, na sukhanicha. So if you don't have kingdom, you will not have pleasures. He says, I don't require pleasures. Na kankshe, I don't desire any of this in terms of my victory or kingdom or pleasures. Govinda, he addresses Krishna as Govinda here. Oh Krishna, Kim Rajyena, what is the use of this kingdom? Naha, for us. Now here, you will find in these verses, Arjuna uses always a dual word of Naha. Naha means he is including Krishna into his own thinking process. He is trying to convince Krishna by including him. What is the use in the kingdom for us? Kim bhoge. What is the use of the sense pleasure? Bhoga is the pleasure. So what is the use of the sense pleasures? Jivitenava. In fact, what is the use of life itself by if I start killing my own people? Svajanam, once I do that. So this is how the mind goes into the delusion, and these are the steps in which actually the mind's depression progresses. So Arjuna goes through the symptoms of depression, and obviously he is expressing life itself is very meaningless. So we see that the whole the aspect of killing, etc., when he brings out, it is only to do with his own people, because he is thinking that Bhishma, Drona are his people. Maybe he doesn't have problem killing Duryodhana, Dusyasana, because of the works they have done in the past. But when he was kept right in front of Bhishma and Drona, he says, what is the eat? So this type of things come into our mind from time to time. What is the use in eating? Why wear ornaments? Why dress up? There is no point in doing that. Whole life appears to be meaningless and empty. So what our Shastras normally say, especially Advaita Vedanta, it says that outside objects are not the one which actually gives the meaning to the life. The meaning to the life is part and parcel. You are born as a Purna, as a complete person you are there, and then you develop the attachments or even if not attachments, at least your relationships with the outside objects from the perspective of completeness inside. It will have a different meaning. For example, Gurudev possibly had equal attachment towards his sishyas who are there around. Whether it is Tejomananji or many others who were there, Dayananda Saraswati, obviously he had that kind of an attachment. That attachments come with the Purnatva. He has no problems in terms of attachments which will delude his mind as such. But this is how, unfortunately, our minds work. Suppose a musician, for example, thinks that music is everything. Without music, my life is meaningless. Similarly, we see a sportsman. If a sportsman is taken to a particular sport, and if he or she is not able to pursue that for some reason, then the life itself looks very meaningless. And it happens with workaholics. We see that a person who is a workaholic thinks that after retirement, there is no life only. And we have seen actually people who go off very, very quickly once the retirement comes, and deterioration comes very fast. Because for them, the work was so much, work is worship. They talk about as a good this one. But really speaking, it is meaningless to think that what we are got addicted to is coming out of something which without that, my entire life is meaningless. So this requires some sort of a living in terms of our attachment with the Ishvara. So normally people say that don't put all your eggs in one basket, So you need to really move from one basket to the other to keep you happy. Even if you don't know about the Purnatva inside, etc., people do recognize the fact that if you have only one subject or one attachment as everything, and without that nothing is there, then when that thing goes off, people go into a deep depression, and we see people going into taking extreme steps, including taking their own lives, etc. We see that happening in this particular world. Yeah. So we need to train our own mind in slightly religious way, at least in terms of, if not spiritual way, to give that option for us to, if something happens to something which I like very much, at least I not go into that type of a depression and delusion. Yeah. So here Arjuna is the typical example, what we are seeing. He says, Nacha Shreyo Nupashyam. I do not see any good in life, because the people he is talking about is Bhishma and Drona, etc. Bhishma, Drona, Krupacharya, whom he loves so much, and they alone can make my life meaningful. And without their existence, Shreyo Nupashyam. I do not see any good with my life itself. So this is the purpose of purpose was very clear, that it is a fight between dharma and adharma. As I mentioned before, this particular war of Mahabharata is not being fought only to gain the kingdom for his elder brother. Arjuna must realize that this is something between dharma and adharma. Krishna, in fact, tells in the next chapter that he comes from time to time to establish dharma. Very famous verse is there. We'll go through that when it comes. So it is between dharma and adharma, and the purpose was very clear till he saw Bhishma and Drona right in front of his eyes. So the purpose of the war, now he completely forgot, and he now says that this war is only, it is looking as if I am taking a life of a few people, and that is the problem for me. That is how Arjuna is seeing the entire purpose of this particular war. Therefore, an attached mind sees people as more important than dharma, whereas a man of right vision will see dharma as more important than the mortal. This is the difference that we require to see in terms of, and especially for Kshatriya, his own dharma, Kshatriya dharma, which is there, is that he must make sure that the bad people get punished for the wrong actions they have taken. For example, a judge, if he is sitting and a murderer comes in right in front of him, and he goes into a delusion, why I must kill this fellow by giving a capital punishment, what difference it makes if he sits in the cell for next few years, maybe he will change, maybe he will come. No, if the criminal code of conduct of the particular, if it is there, And that criminal conduct requires a certain punishment to be given. Judge cannot get carried away by any other stuff, but he should go ahead and give whatever appropriate punishment as per the law that is available at the given period of time. And here, Kshatriya Dharma is that he should fight and win the war. However, Arjuna is going into a confusion. So he says, Nakankshe Vijayam Krishna. And kingdom is meaningless, purposeless, na sukhanicha. The pleasure is also worthless. And kim no rajyena govinda, getting the kingdom, kim bhogai jivitena. I don't even see why I should live if I kill the very people, svajanam. What is the purpose of living if that is so? So that is how he has come out with the, come into that aspect of mind, which is sliding towards moha. Yeah. We'll read the verse 33. Okay. Yesham kankshitam naha. Chitam naha. Rajyam bhoga sukhani cha. Rajyam bhoga sukhani cha. Taime vastita yuddhe. Taime vastita yuddhe. Pranam styaktva dhanani cha. Dhanani cha. So here, normally in while unfolding the verse, we start with the second line and then go to the first line. In most of the verses, you will find this way. Yeah, that is how the verses are set up. So tyaktva pranan na cha dhanani cha dhanani. So here it says tyaktva means renouncing. Renouncing what? Pranan, their lives. And cha dhanani cha. Dhanani cha is and wealth. So renouncing their lives, renouncing their wealth, te ime, such people, avasthita, they have assembled. So he is seeing all his own people in front of him, whom he says they have already renounced their world, they renounced their lives, and they also renounced their wealth, and they came to die here, right in front of Yuddhe in this war. Yeshamarthe, for whose sake alone, Rajyam Bhoga, kingdom and sense objects. Yeah, enjoyment of the sense object. Sukhanicha, pleasures that are there. Kankshitam naha, that are desired by us. The naha means us. So again, as I mentioned, in all these verses, he is including Krishna as if Krishna and he are agreeing with each and every word that he is telling. Yeah, so that is how he is putting that this one. So the original purpose is lost as far as Arjuna is concerned. We can say here that they have renounced their lives and their wealth, and such people have assembled in this war. And he says, for whose sake alone the kingdom, sense object, pleasures are desired by us. So what he is telling, in short, is he is fighting this war, Arjuna is fighting this war only to gain the kingdom and sense pleasures and sense objects. Everything is being, he is getting them for the sake of whom? He says, not for us. It is for people like Bhishma and Drona and Krupacharya. It is for them actually I am earning this kingdom, not for my own sake. And if I kill such people, what is the use of such a kingdom that I get? In the sense, what he is telling is, if I don't show off my victory, to whom will I show off my victory after killing all these people who are so dear to me? The purpose of Mahabharata is fighting adharma. So Arjun, that Bhishma and Drona are not being killed because they are good people or bad people. They are getting killed, hopefully. He doesn't even know at this stage whether Bhishma will kill him or Drona will kill him or he will kill them. But maybe he has that confidence that if he fights, he will kill them with the help of Krishna, because Krishna is there right in front of him. He knew that maybe. But he is telling that Bhishma and Drona, because they are siding with the Adharma, they might get killed. We don't know, but they might get killed only if because they are on the part of Adharma. They had choice whether they will fight against Duryodhana or for Duryodhana. But that is the choice they have made. They are now standing in front as an enemy. So, but here he is telling that what is the use in killing them and then gaining this kingdom? Because whom will I show? Whom will I share my joy of getting the kingdom? So this is how Arjuna is now turning the table. Only for Bhishma and Drona or Krupacharya's sake, I am fighting this war to gain the kingdom. And if they are not there, what is the use in my gaining this kingdom to start with? Yeah? Ime yuddhe. This war itself, I am fighting for their sake. Therefore, what did he do? It is like this, our Dayanand Saraswati used to give an example. He says, you have a purse with a few notes of money in that. Now I went there. I've got this money with me, and I don't have a purse to put that money. So I go to the market and I use up that money and buy a purse. Now what will I do with the purse? Because money is already gone. Buying that purse. So there is nothing there to really put into the purse. So similarly, he's got that kind of a doubt now. He says, I'm fighting this war, agree. I will get the kingdom. I will gain the pleasures. I will do all that. But whom will I show? Whom will I share? I don't have anybody of my people whom I can share this particular wealth or this funds. So this is how his mind is slowly, as I said, moving into a aspect of delusion. He will come to that in a few verses. Yeah. 34 verse. Acharya pitara putraste putraha, sorry. Acharya pitara putraha tadhaiva cha pitamaha matula swasura pautraha syala sambandhinastadha. So here, like in the previous verse also we have seen that all the relations have been mentioned. While Arjuna went and he saw the people, he said, oh, I'm seeing not Bhishma, Drona, Duryodhana, and he didn't rattle off the people's names. He rattled off there also the relationships. So here again, he is reiterating what he has done when he saw them in the first. So Acharyaha, we have seen, is the teachers. Pitaraha, as I said, fathers. We have already seen he uses all the plural here because there are many Pitaraha. Yeah. I will not go into that. We have seen 5 different people who will be considered or who should be considered as father or fatherly figures. Yeah. Tathayeva putraha. He has got sons also. Duryodhana's son, for example, is Arjuna's son because they are first cousins. Yeah. So they are sons. And pitamaha. They are grandfathers standing on the other side. And matulaha. Matulaha is mama. Mama means mother's brothers. Yeah. So that is uncles who are there. And shwashuraha. Shwashuraha is fathers-in-law. Yeah, fathers-in-law is Svashuraha. And Pautraha, he also grandsons. Arjuna, they say, was almost 80 or 85 years when he fought the Mahabharata war. Almost similar to Krishna's age at that time. Krishna was slightly elder to him. So Pautraha, so he has grandsons on the other side who are fighting with the Pandavas. And Shala, even in Hindi we say Sala now. So that is Shala is brothers-in-law. So there are brothers-in-law on the other side. And Tata Sambandhinaha, all other relatives who are assembled on the other side. all these people are waiting, as he says, either they have renounced their lives and renounced their wealth, and they're all standing on the other side, waiting to be killed by Arjuna as per him. Yeah. And 35, we will read now, verse 35. एतन्न हन्तुमिच्छामि एतान्न हन्तुमिच्छामि नतोऽपि मधुसूदन नतोऽपि मधुसूदन अपि त्रैलोक्यराज्यस्य हेतो किं नु मही कृते हेतो किं नु मही कृते. Here he is addressing Krishna as Madhusudana again. Madhusudana, Madhu is one of the demons that Krishna killed when he was very, very young. At that time, he killed this Rakshasa who is called Madhu. So he gets the name of Madhusudana. So one who kills that Madhusudana. Api hetoho. Api hetoho, even for the sake of Trailokya Rajyasya. So three words that that are there, na ichhami, I do not desire to kill whom? Etan. Etan, kill these people. These people is etan. Api, even if granataha, granataha means they kill me. Even if they kill me, I'm okay. But kimnu mahikrute, kimnu mahikrute, why should I fight for the sake of kingdom? Now, he is extending his thinking process because of the sorrow that is overtaking his mind. He is telling, even for the sake of three worlds, I do not desire to kill these people. So even if three worlds are given to me after this war is over, I don't want to kill a people like Bhishma, Drona, Krupacharya who is standing in front of me. They kill me, it is okay. But why should I fight for the sake of a mere kingdom like in front of me? What is the price which is there is only one kingdom. Whereas even if for the sake of Trailokya Rajyasya, even if somebody says that you fight this war, if you win, you will get the entire Adipatyam, the king, he can become the emperor of the three worlds all put together, but I don't want to kill for the sake of small kingdom. Because even if three worlds are given to me, I am not ready to kill the people like Bhishmacharya and Dronacharya. So you will see that Krishna is allowing Arjuna to rant away. Because in this particular mindset, when he sees, he knows that he has to flush the thoughts away, flush this sorrow away, flush these attachments away before the knowledge is given to them. If he tries something, even if he wants to try something, it will not really help Arjuna, because that will go into unnecessary argument. So you see here, Krishna absolutely silent till Arjuna comes out with, we will see in chapter 2, verse 8 or 9, he comes out and says, Krishna, he realizes that although he is including him by telling naha, naha, us, Krishna is not talking, neither encouraging him or telling him that he agrees with him. Sometimes we do that when people are in shoka, and if they come and they tell anything, just for to carry over the moment, we say, ha, 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 ha. But he is absolutely silent because his purpose is different. Krishna's purpose is completely different. He doesn't want to agree with Arjuna in any way because he knows that he is going through a Arjuna Vishada Yoga, Samsara Yoga. He is going through that. So he is just keeping quiet. So when somebody you see is in similar situation, we should not even try to attempt to say, okay, sadhana chatushtaya sampanna, you require to have discrimination, you have to have vairagya, samadhamadi, shat sampatti, mumukshutvam. All this we should not start talking about because it doesn't have any meaning for such a person. So Krishna allows Arjuna. Again and again, Arjuna keeps on telling him many things. Acharyaha, these are my sambandhis, Swajanam, my own people who are there on the other side, all relations which are there, he keeps on talking and he is telling also, these people are not somebody whom I went and killed an enemy king. These are my grandfathers, my uncles, my um, pitaraha, fathers who are there, grandchildren who are there. So just not possible for me to kill any one of them. Yeah. In fact, he says, Etanna hantum ichchami. I will not kill. I don't desire to kill any of them or hurt them. So it actually looks like a compassion. Yeah. I mentioned before, I think in one of the verses, where compassion is different from the attachment. Compassion is when the vision of dharma is not lost, that becomes compassion. You see compassion in people like Krishna. You see compassion in people like Gurudev, but you don't see attachment in them. Doesn't mean that they are hard in heart or something like that. But dharma always holds the fort in their mind. So as long as dharma is kept in mind and adharma is not, adharma, uh, mind gets clouded, adharma becomes dharma, then you have a problem associated. The compassion turns into attachment. So a person who is correct vision will not violate dharma in any situation. Again, go back to the example of a judge, Judge who is there, he may feel compassion for a criminal who cries and says and mercy petitions are given, etc. But if he gets carried away by that, it is not possible for a law to be withheld in a country. One judge cannot get carried away by that. But you do have some other power. For example, in case of India, the president has got that power. Even though, as the judge says that as per the law, I am going to give you a capital punishment, you can ask for mercy and president can then grant that mercy. If the situation is as such that he or she may think that this particular person has killed him or killed or whatever he has done under extraneous circumstances. So some compassion can be shown. Now that is where the president might come in, but judge cannot be fair or unfair. He requires to follow the law as such. Yeah. So Arjuna it appears as if he is showing compassion, but Krishna will prove that it is a misplaced compassion. Yeah. And Madhusudana, as we mentioned, Madhusudana is the destroyer of Madhu. Madhu is the Rakshasa, and Krishna kills him. And thereby he gets the name of Madhusudana. Okay. The three worlds that Arjuna was talking about are the Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, and Suvarloka. The three words, the words that he says, the Triloka, Trilokas are Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Suvarloka. So anyway, so these three, even if I get all the kingdom, emperorship of all these three lokas, that will not compensate me killing the people like Bhishma and Drona. So I have no doubt in my mind, for getting a small kingdom, I'm not going to act in such a way, I incur a sin of killing people like Bhishma and Drona. Yeah. Okay. Now, verse 1.36, 36. निहत्य धार्तराष्ट्रान्नः
निहत्य धार्तराष्ट्रानः
का प्रीति स्यार्जनार्दन का प्रीति स्यार्जनार्दन पापमेवाश्रयेदस्मान् हत्वैतानाततायिनः Hatvaitanatatayinaha. Atatayinaha. Last word is actually called Atatayinaha. Here, Krishna is being addressed as Janardhana. Yeah. Janardhana is being addressed is Krishna only. We are talking about Krishna. Nihatya, by killing Dhatrarashtran. Dhatrarashtran, the sons of Dhritarashtra, Dhatrarashtran. He has addressed before also Duryodhana and all 100 of his brothers. These Kauravas, ka pritihi, what happiness syadnaha, what happiness can belong to us, what kind of happiness we will get. Again, he is continuing to use naha, which is us. So he's including Krishna here as well. Hatva, by killing etan atatayinah. Atatayinah is criminal, one who does some certain actions which are against the good of the society. They become atatai. So atatayinaha papam yeva. Sin alone, ashraye dasman. We will accrue sin. He is addressing them as atatayinaha, but he says by killing them, we will only accrue sin, and what happiness will come to belong to us. By killing these people, we are not going to gain any happiness. Not only that, it is a sin to kill these criminals. He uses the word atatayina, criminals, but at the same time he says sin alone will accrue to us by killing the atatayina. So this is where we say that mind actually slides into a situation where he used the word even previously, Dhatra Rashtrasya Durbuddhehe. Yeah, in the previous verses we have seen, he used the word Durbuddhehe, means their mind is not correct. Buddhi itself, intellect itself is Durbuddhi. Very bad intellect they have. And here he is telling that they are Atatai. A one who is Durbuddhi will conduct himself and do Atatai. He acts like criminals. That is how he says. But I have to kill my relatives. And how, even if they are Dushtajana, they are bad people, I will not be able to kill them. And even if I kill, if you insist and I kill them, we will only get the sin. He says that. And it is the problem of the shoka, the sadness that is gripping the grief and depression that are gripping Arjuna's mind. He is not able to see clearly. Obviously, we see that Atatayina, but still that Atatayina people, he says, I don't have anything that I can do. I need to withdraw. That is how he is indicating. Yeah. So this Atatayina, Gurudev used to say that there are 5 types of criminal activities which actually used to attract attract capital punishment in those days. Yeah, 5 types. If you burn somebody's house with the intent of killing them, yeah, you burn somebody's house, he becomes an atatai. Or if you poison somebody to kill, basically it is killing the other people that we are talking about. Yeah, if you poison somebody, kill with the intention of doing that, then you become a atatai. If you steal his wife or the land, somebody's wife, means you kidnap somebody or do certain things like Ramayana, you see Sita kidnapped by Ravana. Ravana becomes a atatai. And stealing somebody's property, all these activities will attract a capital punishment in those days. Yeah, so the atatai becomes all the people who do things like these. They become atatai. And killing in general, there is a great list which is there, but generally killing others will become make somebody as atatai. And only punishment at that time was capital punishment, which will be given to such people. Yeah. Okay. I think I told you 5 aspects which makes an atatai. I mentioned burning of somebody's house, poisoning a person who is there, killing another person with a weapon when the other person does not have a weapon or hold a weapon in his hand. So he's a defenseless person. If you are killing with a weapon, it becomes a atatai. And fourth one will be stealing property of another person. And finally, if you take wife of another person, kidnap another somebody else's wife, it becomes a atatai. So these 5 things becomes a problem in terms of atatai, and such a person should get a capital punishment. In this case, we see that Duryodhana has gone through this burning down of Pandava's place when he constructed a lac house, house made of lac, and he put fire trying to kill them. He tried to kill Bhima by poisoning him when he was very, very young. And they throw him into the river, and Bhima goes to Patala Loka, and he comes back with a better 1,000 elephants power. He comes back. So all these things he has done already, not one. And we all know what he did with Draupadi. So despite doing all that, Arjuna feels, he identifies them as Atatai, but he says, but at the same time, I cannot kill them as far as this war is concerned, because of his attachment to people like Bhishma and Drona. Because he knows he cannot kill the actual culprits who are behind, that is Duryodhana, Dushasana, because Bhima, Drona, as long as they are there, Karna, they will not allow the Arjunas or Pandavas to kill any of the Kauravas. Only after taking them out, they can actually attack Duryodhana or Dusyasana and others. That's why in the war we see that first 10 days, Bhishma alone fights, and he takes out so many kings associated with the Pandavas. And only after he falls, then Drona will become the army commander. And after Drona is gone, Karna becomes. And after Karna, you see that lot of all the 100 Kauravas are taken out in the last 3 days of the war, with Duryodhana on the 18th day. That is how the war progresses. So as long as these people are there, nobody can touch the Kauravas whom they are protecting. Yeah. And he is telling that only Papa will come, only sin will come by killing these people. So obviously, Moha and that Raga is getting over, and now Moha will take over. So Moha is the delusion. What delusion is, I mentioned, the delusion is when, because of the sorrow the mind is going through, to such a person, deluded mind, every adharma that he is seeing will appear to be a dharma, and every dharma that he thought that it is dharma to kill, that's why they came to the war, and that dharma will appear to be adharma. So with this thing, the moha has started completely expressing itself out of Arjuna. Yep. Okay, 1.37, that is 7th verse. We'll go through. Tasmannarha vayam hantum. Tasmannarha vayam hantum. Dhatrarashtran swabandhavan. Dhatrarashtran swabandhavan. Swajanam hi kadam hatva. Swajanam hi katham hatva. Sukhinasyama madhava. Sukhinasyama madhava. So he says, Madhava. He is again using the word Madhava, O Krishna. Tasmat, therefore. So he is declaring now his conclusion with the logic that he has given. Therefore, Vayam Arha Nahantum means we should not kill. Yeah, we should not kill Dhatra Rashtra, the Kauravas, the king, the sons of Dhritarashtra, the Kauravas we should not be killing. Why? Swabandhavan. Again he is telling, who are our relatives only it is there. For Khatam Shyama. How can we be Sukhina? Sukhinaha. How can we be happy? Hatva Swajanam, as such, by killing our own people. So that Swajanam word is not leaving Arjuna's mind. Continuously for the last 10 verses, he is only seeing the Swajanam and relatives. That is what he is going through in his mind. How can I kill my grandfather? How can I kill my teacher? How can I kill my father? How can I kill my son? How can I kill my uncle? So he has listed down all the relations who are there on the other side. And how can we be happy after killing such a pilgrim? We should not kill these people. Why? Because they are swabandhavan. They are our own bandhu. They are the kith and kin. So there is no way I am able to overcome that feeling that we should not be killing. Neither we will get happiness by killing that, nor it gives me pleasure by taking out people like Bhishma and Drona. Yeah. So the swabandhava is the theme that with which actually this goes through. Therefore, happiness is very important. Dharma is not very important. And happiness also with what? With a distorted goal now, that happiness becomes more important than the dharma. And we can sacrifice dharma for the sake of happiness. That is how Arjuna is seeing the war in front of him. So he has completely lost track of his role as the Kshatriya. He is a Kshatriya, he is a king by himself, because when those five, even the Indraprastha was given to Dharmaraja, Dharmaraja never treated his younger brothers, as something lower than him. And Arjuna went and he occupied he killed many, or rather defeated many kings. And he occupied those lands. And he is a king by himself. So he is a Kshatriya. So, but for him, moment he saw his own relatives on the other side, all that training that he took as the Kshatriya have completely gone out of window. Swadharme nidharam shreya paradharmo bhayavava. Actually, Gita says that. Swadharme nidhanam shreya paradharmo bhayavava. Dharma is the prime, whereas paradharma bhayavava. Don't take up other dharmas. You are a Kshatriya, you follow the Kshatriya dharma. But once you lose that thought, that conclusion of that Gita is lost. So Arjuna says that sacrificing dharma for the sake of whatever happiness this gives by leaving these people alive is more important to him. That is how he has concluded as far as the war is concerned. Okay. I think still we have 4 more minutes. So we'll go through 38 as well. 138, yeah. Yadhyapyetena यद्यप्येतेन पश्यन्ति यद्यप्येतेन पश्यन्ति लोभोपहत चेतसः लोभोपहत चेतसः कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं मित्रद्रोहे च पातकम् Here he says that lobhopa hata chetasah. Lobhopa hata chetasah. How he puts this is really interesting. He says, when the intellect is overpowered by the greed, lobha, greed. So when the intellect is overpowered by the greed, yete, they na pashyanti. They are not seeing. Why? Because Drona is standing in front of him. Bhishmacharya is standing in front of him. Yeah. And all the other warriors are ready for the fighting. So when the war starts, they will not consider all these aspects of compassion and other stuff. Neither they are seeing Pandavas as their own people, their own sons. their own grandsons. They are not seeing that. They are going to kill you the moment war starts. But here he says their intellect is overpowered by the greed, and that's why they are not seeing dosham. There is a imperfection in their thinking process, and there is an evil as far as their this one kulakshaya krutam. What will be gained by kulakshayam? Kulakshayam is caused by the destruction of the family. See, normally in those days, even now as well, maximum people who get killed are men, and men are supposed to be taken as the uh, leaders of the family in those days. Yeah, by those days, even nowadays, man is taken as somebody who is the head of the family as such. Yeah, things are changing, obviously, and it is for good they are changing. But obviously, till at least two generations before, even my own generation and generation before my own father, man is was always taken as head of the family. He says when the head of the family is taken away by killing them, kulakshayam will happen. Kulakshayam, the whole family structure will collapse. And when the family structure is collapses, chapatakam, that is the biggest sin that we can do to the society. And over and above, here what is happening, it is not my enemy I am going to kill, it is mitra droham. I am harming my own friends. Droham is harming. And mitra droham, by harming my own friends, and I am going to do this sin. Patakam is the sin. So by going through this process of kulakshay kritam, destruction of the family life, I am going to take it out of the society because so many people are standing in front of me. And if the war starts, I am going to kill each one of them. I am not going to stop with only killing a few people. Obviously, they will come in front of me, protecting the Duryodhanas and Dusyasana. They will be like a fodder, and I'm going to take them out. And when I kill the people standing in front of me, men in front of me, it will lead to the destruction of the family structure in the society, and that will lead to lot of problems. What Arjuna is telling appears very, very logical, because when the war takes place, we have seen any great wars that have happened, First World War, Second World War, where the record is already there. There are so many wars happened in India where proper record is not kept as to how many people died, who fought with whom. We only see a few of the distorted history we read in our textbooks. But really speaking, to make that emotional judgment that the whole world is confused and I am only the clear-sighted person. He is telling that entire army on the Kaurava side is they don't have clear sight of what they are doing. What they will be doing by indulging in the war is kulakshaya kshatram. They are going to take out the family, destruction of the family life is what they are going to do, and it is the patakam. Greatest of sins is to take out the family. Means it is recognized in Hinduism that family life is the most important. Yeah, in terms of both religion as well as the um, uh, of keeping these ideas of dharma in the society. Family life is considered the most important in Sanatan Dharma. Even now it is there to a large extent that in India, once you are married, you are married. Things are changing, but having a man in the house and a woman in the house is most important as far as retaining the Sanatana Dharma in the society. Very, very important. By killing so many men, you are going to reduce this family life to adharma, and that is something which is clear in my minds, but it is not clear to Bhishma, Drona and others. That's why they are deluded people. He is deluded, but he is now superimposing his delusion onto the people on the other side. So we will see the next how that delusion will lead him to think in the next few verses. Now we are on 38 now. Around 10 more verses, chapter 1 will be over. We will see on that particular one. Yeah. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.